Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari Jaya Gopi Jana Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridhari Jaya Gopi Jana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Manachari Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Manachari Yamuna Tira Divine Grace, Abhay Charananda Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Thy Gaur Premanande, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Hare Krishna. So, as Haridas Prabhu mentioned, thank you all for coming here today on such short notice. My name is Sri Gauranga Das, and I serve in the ISKCON Nairobi temple. I have extensively traveled over East and South Africa. Recently, just after Janmashtami, I was in Maputo, which is in Mozambique. We were doing some preaching there. And I've also extensively traveled throughout India, from north to south, east to west. And I teach Shastra courses at various places, and that's about it. I'm initiated, I'm a disciple of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj. And through the good fortune of Bhakti Brihad Bhagat Maharaj. I actually met Rupa Goswami Prabhu in Mauritius, and ever since that I've had the good fortune of his association, and it is his mercy that I'm sitting here today. So, thank you. We will do a shloka from Bhagavad Gita today, and I will just read the shloka, the translation and the purport. Actually, Srila Prabhupada's words are very, very potent, and no matter how many times we may hear the purports, or we may hear the shlokas, or we may say we know Bhagavad Gita, every time there is something new that comes out. So we'll start, and I would like to seek the blessings of the elder Vaishnavas here. Vivaswan Prabhu is there, Haridas Prabhu is there. Actually, I met Haridas Prabhu quite a few times, but maybe he doesn't remember. Every time he comes for the ILS, I meet him. So I've always been meeting him every time in the ILS. But
you coming this year?
Next year, yes. Yes. So I seek their blessings so that I may be able to inspire, as Haridas Prabhu was saying, inspire all the devotees here present. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 18, the perfection of renunciation, text number 58. If you can, please repeat after me. Machita sarva durgani mat prasadat tarisyasi atachetva mahankaran nashrosyasi vinangshasi. Translation: if you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditional life by my grace. If, however, you do not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. Responsibly. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditional life by my grace. If, however, you do not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. Purport: a person in full Krishna consciousness is not unduly anxious about executing the duties of his existence. The foolish cannot understand this great freedom from all anxiety. For one who acts in Krishna consciousness, Lord Krishna becomes the most intimate friend. He always looks after his friend's comfort, and he gives himself to his friend, who is devotedly engaged working 24 hours a day to please the Lord. Therefore, no one should be carried away by the false ego of bodily concept of life. One should not falsely think himself independent of the laws of material nature or free to act. He is already under strict material laws. But as soon as he acts in Krishna consciousness, he is liberated, free from material perplexities. One should note very carefully that one who is not active in Krishna consciousness is losing himself in the material whirlpool, in the ocean of birth and death. No conditioned soul actually knows what is to be done and what is not to be done. But a person who acts in Krishna consciousness is free to act because everything is prompted by Krishna from within and confirmed by the spiritual master. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Machita Sarvadurgani Matprasadat Tarishyasi Atachetva Mahankaram Nashroshyasi Vinakshasi. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditional life by my grace. If, however, you do not work in such consciousness but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. Hare Krishna. So this is a very, very wonderful shloka that Lord Krishna is speaking towards the end of the Bhagavad Gita. After instructing Arjuna on very many topics, the Bhagavad Gita primarily consists of 5 truths. Apart from the senior devotees present, can anyone help me by stating what are these truths that are in the Bhagavad Gita? Okay. Not even what? One of the truths of Bhagavad Gita?
We are not this body, we are soul.
Okay, good. The Jiva Tattva is explained about the soul.
Ishwar.
Ishwar, about the Lord.
Time.
Time, yes, about time. Karma. And material nature, yes, Prakriti. Yeah, so Lord Krishna instructs Arjuna on all these various topics, and at the end, he is giving Arjuna sort of a warning that if you take my instructions into consideration, you will be benefited. But should you choose to do whatever you think is best for you, you will actually become lost. We see in Kali Yuga, we all have this tendency of doing what we like. We don't like to be told what to do. I deal with a lot of young children, and I see every time children as young as 3 years old, they will refuse to do what the parents tell them to do. They will utterly and bitterly object to anything that they don't want to do, and the parents have to give in. I spend a lot of time traveling, and when I'm sitting at the airports, or I'm sitting in airplanes, or I'm sitting at the train stations, I see the kids, they're throwing tantrums, and the parents just watch helplessly, and they have to give in to that because, you can't do anything to the child. And then later on, as the children grow, they keep on doing what they want to do, and the parents become distressed. But it's not only with children. We see employees hardly do what the employers want them to do. If they can slack off somewhere or, get money without working so hard, they'll do it. And we also see in other relationships, the wife always wants the husband to do what she says. Husband never does what she says. Husband wants the wife to do what he says. Wife never does what the husband says. And everyone, they tend to just do what they want. One of the young children, they were telling me that they subscribe to that philosophy. Let me do what I want, when I want, where I want, and how I want it. Don't tell me how to do anything. I can decide for myself. But here we find Lord Krishna is saying, if you do not listen to me, you will be lost. If you think you know what is best for you without hearing what I have to say, then you will be lost. We find that this kind of mentality not only exists in the material world, but when we are trying to practice spiritual life, we also bring this mentality with us. I should be able to set my own standards of what devotional service is. In fact, we find many religions and many spiritual organizations. They say, your relationship with the Lord is sacred. No one should tell you how to do it. In fact, a lot of people are against organized religion. They say, it's between me and my Lord. We decide what the terms are. So we see this is a very common way of thinking, both in the material lives and the spiritual lives. People don't like to be told what to do. Once there was a ship, a very big ship, flying in the ocean, and the captain, as he was standing on the bridge, he could see in the distance there was some light. So the captain called his communications officer up to the bridge. The officer came and the captain instructed, please send a message to the other party that we are a very, very wide ship. We're going very, very fast. We shall approach them in a very short time. They should begin to change their bearings 20 degrees to the right. So the communications officer, according to the captain's wishes, he sent the message. And a reply came back. It said, you change 20 degrees to the right. So the captain thought, who is this arrogant person on the other side? Called his communications officer again and said, send my full credentials. It was actually a military ship. He said, you send my full credentials, which rank I am, which ship we are in, what is my position, and I am ordering them, we shall destroy them if they do not move. So, officer sent exactly what the captain said. Again a reply came, you move. The captain got angry and he called the other ship. And he said, who do you think you are? I'm telling you to move. We have the right of way. And we are telling you to move. We shall actually destroy your ship. I have a very, very big ship. And the reply simply came, we are the lighthouse. We can't move. He had to move. We find here in the material world, we are always trying to go against the laws of nature. We're trying to adjust what the Lord has designed for this material world. But some things we cannot just adjust. We cannot adjust death. We cannot adjust disease. We cannot adjust old age. We cannot adjust miseries from the mind or miseries from other living entities or miseries caused by natural occurrences or from the demigods. But everyone is endeavoring to do that. Every day when people get out of bed, they're thinking, how can I adjust these laws to suit me? Therefore, we find here Srila Prabhupada is saying, one should not be carried away by false ego. This is false ego, thinking, I can do this. Just like the captain was thinking, oh, I can go through the lighthouse. But it's a lighthouse, it's land. No ship can go through land. So the same way, people think, oh, I don't need the Lord, I don't need to know what He needs to say, I can do my thing. I can bend the laws, I can become happy without listening to what the Lord has to say. But when we realize actually that Lord Krishna is our most intimate friend, Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suridam Sarvabhutanam Gyatva Mam Shantim Richati, one who knows me as the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, as the Lord, Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and as the well-wisher of every living entity, attains peace from the pangs of material misery. We are looking for happiness, but without peace we cannot get happiness. Ashantasya kutaha sukham. Without peace, where there is no question of happiness. So when we understand that actually the Lord is our friend, is our most intimate friend, then when we hear what He has to say and follow according to His directions, we become peaceful. With that peace comes happiness. Otherwise, there is no possibility. Here Srila Prabhupada is mentioning how the Lord, He gives Himself to His devotees. Just recently, a few days ago, we celebrated the festival of Govardhan Puja. And this was a classic example of what the Lord is saying here. The Vrajavasis, they were all geared up to worship Indra, demigod in charge of rain, to thank him for the water supply that he had been giving for the past year. And when Lord Krishna came, he asked his father, "What are you doing?" The father said, "We are worshipping Indra." Why? Because he's giving us rain. And with that rain, the grass is growing, our cows are eating that grass and we're getting milk. And therefore everything that we have, our whole economy is based on the rain that Indra is giving. But Lord Krishna said, no, actually Govardhan is supplying the grass. Therefore we should worship Govardhan. But the beauty of the Vrajvasis is that whatever Krishna suggests, they do without asking. They don't ask him, why are you saying this? Immediately he said that, the Brahmanas, they agreed. Nanda Maharaj also agreed. And then all the Vrajvasis, they followed what Lord Krishna was telling them, how to worship Govardhan hill. And as they did that, Indra became angry and he thought, let me bend these laws. He didn't know he was playing with the lawmaker. He thought, let me wipe out the whole Vrindavan from the earth, from the map of the earth. But Krishna, because all the Vrajavasis surrendered unto him unconditionally, he protected them. Even if it meant lifting a whole mountain on his little finger to do that. Even when that was happening, as Indra was flooding Vrindavan, all the residents, they didn't go and get their umbrellas or, try and find some shelter in some cave. They all ran to Krishna. This is the beauty of the Vrindavan, devotees of Vrindavan. Any trouble comes, they run to Krishna. They don't think, oh, we can protect ourselves. Nanda Maharaj doesn't think, oh, I can protect myself, I'm Krishna's father. No, when trouble comes, even Nanda Maharaj goes running to Krishna. Like when they went on the day of Shivaratri, they went to Ambikavan. And at night, a python was swallowing Nanda Maharaj. He was shouting, Krishna, Krishna, please come and save me. He didn't think, no, I'm Krishna's father, I can protect myself. Krishna is only a young boy. No, they had that complete dependence upon the Lord. They trusted in Krishna. They knew. Implicitly they knew Krishna is our protector. And therefore we read those pastimes of Krishna time and time again. The Vrindavan Vasis, devotees of Vrindavan, how they run to Krishna at every single moment. Yet, we find here in the mature world the case is opposite. At every single moment we are trying to run away from Krishna. And when trouble comes, we blame Krishna for the trouble. We start saying, out of 8 billion people in the world, you only found me? Why are you putting a magnifying glass on me? Why don't you give trouble to everyone else? Why only me? And people, like we hear in World War II, so many ladies of Germany, they became atheists. Because as the war was ongoing, they were going to the church and praying for the safe return of their loved ones. Whether it was the son or the husband or the boyfriend or whatever. But none of them returned. And therefore they became atheists. They said, you don't exist. The Lord doesn't exist. How could he be so cruel? How could he be so cruel? But the Lord here in the Bhagavad Gita, He's saying, Krishna is saying, I am the most intimate friend. I am the well-wisher. You listen to me and you shall be okay. If you choose to ignore and you think you know better, then you shall be lost. Then you shall be lost. Therefore we think, okay, Lord Krishna is saying this, but the reality is different. In this material world, we don't see Krishna giving us a sari like he did to Draupadi. We don't see Krishna lifting a Govardhan hill when there were floods and rains in Vrindavan. We don't see these kind of things. We don't see practically how Krishna is saving people. So how can we trust? How can we put any faith? What Krishna was saying, that was 5,000 years ago. Today the situation is different. Hurricanes come, even temples get wiped out, like in Puerto Rico. So, how can we trust? Krishna is our intimate friend. So there was once in a temple in India, there was a sweeper. He used to sweep the temple room every day. He was a great devotee. And he'd been doing the service for many, many years. He was just coming and sweeping, watching people as they come and take darshan, and they go away and they ask all sorts of things. So one particular day he was looking at the Lord and he was thinking, my Lord must be so tired. Ever since I started this service, he's been standing there. No one's giving him a break. So he had this thought, I think I should give the Lord a break. So the next day, he went to the altar and he was praying. He said, my Lord, you've been standing here for so long. I wish to give you a break. Why don't you take a day off? Do whatever you want. Go and play with your friends or visit your parents or visit your girlfriends, wherever you want to go. I want to give you a break. And because he was praying so devotedly, the Lord replied to him. He said, well, if I go on a break, who will stand here? So the sweeper said, I will stand. I will stand for one day. I will stand in your place. So then the Lord said, okay, fine. I agree. I will make your appearance similar to mine. And I shall go for one day, but on one condition. And the sweeper said, anything, my Lord. The Lord said, you shall not speak anything. You shall not do anything. Just stand there. That's it. Whatever happens, whatever people come and pray for, whatever you see ongoing, you shouldn't respond. They said, oh, well, that's simple enough. It's okay, I'll do that. So then they made the agreement. The Lord went off. The devotee sweeper went on the altar as the Lord stood there, and people started coming to darshan. Many people coming, asking many different things. There was one particular person who came, very wealthy, removed his wallet, 100-pound notes, big stack. He was rummaging through it, found 1 pound coin and put it in the donation box. And he prayed to the Lord, my Lord, business has been really bad. Please bless me so that this coming day I can earn quite a bit of money. And as he was putting his wallet in the pocket, he actually missed it and it fell on the floor. Unknown to this person. Now the devotee saw, oh, his wallet has fallen. And he was just about to speak, hey, what? Then he remembered, oh, my Lord said, don't speak anything, I better keep quiet. He kept quiet. So this person walked away. Another devotee came to pray. He also removed a 1 pound coin and put it in the donation box. And he prayed to the Lord, my Lord, this was the last coin that I had. As I walk out of this temple, I don't know where I will get enough Lakshmi to feed my family. you know I am your devotee. I have offered everything that I have. My last coin, I have chosen to give it to you. I know you will take care of me. You are my master. I am your servant. Please help me. And as he was paying obeisances and he was getting up, he saw the wallet. And he saw it was full of 100-pound notes. He became so happy. He said, "My Lord, I knew you will help me. You're so great. You always take care of your devotees." And he glorified the Lord very nicely and he was leaving. Again, the devotee sweeper was thinking, "Hey, that's not his money. I didn't give that to him." Or rather, even the Lord didn't give that to him. He wanted to stop, but he said, "No, God has told me don't speak anything." He said, "Okay, fine, let me keep quiet." Third person came. He was a sailor. He was going for a long journey. And he was praying to the Lord, "Please, my Lord, the ocean is very treacherous. Let me return safely back home." As he was praying, the rich man came with security guards to report. He figured out his wallet wasn't in his pocket and he said, "Someone in the temple must have stolen it." So as they came through the doors, they saw the sailor praying and the security arrested the sailor, asking him, "Where's the wallet? You've stolen the wallet, let's go." Now the devotee sweeper who was standing as Lord Krishna, he couldn't contain himself. So he spoke and all the people in the temple were amazed. Today the deity is speaking. What is going on? This is a great miracle. And he said, "The sailor is not the thief. That person who was leaving the temple just now, he's the thief. He took the wallet. Let the sailor go." And so the security, they caught that devotee of the Lord who had given all his money to the Lord, caught him, took him away. The merchant, the rich person, got his wallet back and the sailor was let to go scot-free. Many other devotees came and went. At night the Lord is returning and he's asking his devotees, "So, how was the day?" And the devotee is saying, "My Lord, you have such a difficult job. So many people coming and asking for so many things. How do you fulfill all their desires?" "But it was a tough day, but I did something good." And the Lord went, "What did you do? I had told you don't do anything. What did you do?" So he narrates the whole thing, how he saved the sailor, an innocent person, from going to jail. And the Lord said, "You are such a fool, an utter fool." And the devotee was thinking, "My Lord, I saved the sailor. He was innocent." Lord said, "No, you are a fool. You didn't obey my instructions." That merchant, when he came with that fat wallet, all that money was earned by illegal means. If that money had gone with my devotee, at least some pious credit would have gone to that person. Because he's earned money through illegal means. If my devotee had used his money, he would have gotten some pious credits. And that devotee, he really didn't have any money. He was completely surrendered onto me. That was my way of protecting him. Now his family is going to starve. And he's sitting in jail. So you've completely messed up the whole situation. Then he said, "But I saved the sailor." He said, "No, even the sailor, if he was to go in the ocean, he was not going to come back. That's why I had arranged him to stay one night in the jail. Then, if he went after one day, he would have come back. But you messed up the whole thing." That's when the devotee realized, actually, when the Lord does something, He hits 3 birds with 1 stone. In English we say to hit 2 birds with 1 stone, but the Lord hits 3 birds with 1 stone. There's so many ways He's trying to bring all the living entities towards Him. He's taking care of everyone. I come from Africa. We have big elephants there. No one goes to feed them. You can't go near them. They'll crush you. But they're there. Srila Prabhupada always used to say that if the Lord can feed such big elephants, He'll not feed His devotee. Of course He will. But the question is, do we trust in the Lord and His plan? Sometimes things happen to us and we are thinking, why me? Why am I the one suffering? But the Lord has His plan. We may not understand it, but if we trust it, then we shall not be lost. Otherwise, if we don't understand and we don't trust, then definitely we shall be lost. Therefore, here in this verse, the Lord is saying, please, if you hear me, then you shall be able to cross over this material ocean. But if you do not, then you shall be lost. The question still remains, how do we know what is the Lord's plan? We don't need to know what is the Lord's plan. We simply need to follow His instructions. Just like some employees in a company, they don't know what the goal of the company is. Those who are working in lower level management, they don't know what the goal is, what the profit target is. They're just following the instruction. The boss has said, do this much work, this much production must happen, they do that only. But it feeds up into the hierarchy and the goal gets achieved. So the same way, we don't need to know what the Lord has planned for us. But the Lord is so kind, He also says what He has planned for us. He comes and His plan is only one plan. How to get everyone out of here. Therefore He says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tam sarva papevyo mokshayishyami ma sujaya. Abandon all varieties of religion, just surrender unto me. That's His plan. But we're thinking, why surrender? Thinking, such a simple plan for me? No, my plan must be different. The Lord wants me to do some great things. That's just our mind and our ego playing tricks on us. Therefore, here we find Srila Prabhupada, he's ending with, a person who's Krishna conscious, he knows how to act because he has instruction from Krishna, from within, and also externally through the spiritual master. The devotees of the Lord, they tell us what the Lord wants because they know. They do the same thing as the Lord wants. So when we associate with devotees, then devotees can guide us how to become more surrendered to the Lord's plan. Even in our life of founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, we find he had his own plan. He was thinking, I'll become a big businessman. And he even tried 3 times to become a big businessman, but the Lord had a different plan. And every time when the war of plan comes, we're always on the losing end. We're the ship, the Lord is the lighthouse. The Lord's plan always carries the day. So rather than crashing our ship against His plans, it's better if we just follow in the first place. There was once a devotee who was preaching and people were asking him, but why are you bald? So he replied, rather than waiting for the Lord to take my hair away, I have given my hair from before only. You see people, they hold on to it. They're getting bald, they go for laser surgery and cosmetics and try to regrow the hair and like really holding on to it. But how long can you hold? When Lord Krishna wants to take with our 2 hands, how much can we hold? He has 10 hands. He takes with 10 hands. We're trying to protect with 2. And when He wants to give, how much can we hold? He gives with 10 hands and we only have 2. So if we trust in the Lord, if we trust in the Bhagavad Gita, what the Bhagavad Gita is telling us, and we are so fortunate that through Srila Prabhupada's mercy, He has actually given us Bhagavad Gita as it is, clearly stating what the Lord's plan is, what He wants everyone to do, and how to do it. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also came 500 years ago just to show how to do what the Lord is telling us to do. Personally, He showed very simply through the process of chanting His holy names. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dadavita nama shantascha mam bhaktya nityukta upasate. The devotees of mine, Lord Krishna says, they are always constantly chanting my names, bowing down with great determination before me. And in this way, they are always worshipping me. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to show how is that done. He came to inaugurate the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. If we simply put our faith in the chanting of the holy names as is taught to us by our spiritual masters and our predecessor acharyas, then we'll align ourselves to the Lord's plan. And instead of constantly fighting the Lord, my plan, your plan, my plan, your plan, if we just align our plan to the Lord's plan, then we'll become so much more happier. Life will become so much easier. But that comes through having faith in the holy names. Our situation is such that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself expresses this. Durdeva midrishami hajani nanuragaha. It is our misfortune that we do not have faith in the holy names of the Lord. The Lord's names are more powerful than the Lord himself. This Lord Ramshod, just recently we celebrated Diwali. So when they were building the bridge, Lord Ram also took a few stones and he threw them in the water and they drowned. Lord Ram was thinking, how did they drown? What? I am the Lord and the stones drowned. So he asked Hanuman, why did these stones drown? And Hanuman asked him, did you write Ram on them?
Yeah.
Lord Ram said, I am Ram. Why should I write Ram? Like, no, you have to write Ram on them, then only they'll flow. Because your name is so merciful, is so powerful. And this name has been gifted to us by the Lord himself in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and coming down in the disciplic succession. If we simply put our faith in the chanting of the holy names and following the other rules that the acharyas have set out for us, then we shall never go wrong.
Very good.
But as soon as we think we know better, we can adjust the ways that acharyas have shown us or our spiritual master has shown us. Prabhu, be practical. That was 500 years ago. That was 50 years ago during Srila Prabhupada's time. Now it's okay, we can chant while looking at WhatsApp. Or we can chant while shopping. Life is so busy, there's no time. So we try to divide our time. And you have to be practical, Prabhu. It's okay, you don't have to follow all the rules and regulations. Just do what you can. Then we run in the danger of becoming lost. So if we stick to the path that has been shown by the acharyas, by Lord Krishna, and if we put our faith in that, then life becomes so much simpler. We get devotees all the time coming up and saying, Prabhu, X number of years I've been in the movement, there's no peace. In fact, I think I was peaceful before starting to chant. You look at the person and you're like, okay, nice. I think I was peaceful before starting to chant. Now I'm starting to chant, so much trouble, so much problems. But usually if we analyze ourselves, I'm speaking for myself also. If we analyze ourselves, we'll see we're going wrong somewhere. We're doing something which is not prescribed by the acharyas and the spiritual master. And therefore we are running into difficulty. Because if we do everything properly as per the process, then we shall get the result. It's a formula. It's not something that gives different results every time. It's something, if you do it consistently, you do it in the right way, you get the same result. But if you try to do it differently, then of course you'll not get the same result. Therefore, the need for spiritual master and the need for devotee association is so much there. Because the devotees and the spiritual master, they'll tell us where our formula is not working, where we are going wrong. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada started ISKCON. Otherwise, he could have been sitting in Vrindavan or gone to Himalayas and done his bhajan, and we would still be wallowing in the material ocean. But he started this movement so that people can get this association of each other. All the devotees who are practicing on various levels, they can come and help each other in progressing further in devotional service. This is what Srila Prabhupada wanted. And we can help each other do that. We shouldn't be like the crabs. Someone was telling me, I've never been, but someone was telling me that, do you know in restaurants where they have live crabs, they don't put any lid on the tin that the crabs are in? And I was like, why? Because they know the crab will never escape. As long as there are 2 crabs in the tin, the crab will never escape. If it's 1 crab, then they have to put a lid on it. So I was like asking why? Like the crabs, they're very peculiar creatures. As one crab is climbing up to try and explain, the other crabs pull him down. So the owners, they know these crabs, they'll never escape. As long as there are 2, each other they'll pull each other down. So we have to decide which category we fall into. Are we going to be like the crabs and pull each other down, or are we going to actually try and follow what Lord Krishna and the predecessor acharyas and our spiritual master wants us to do and help each other? If one of us is trying to rise, then everyone boosts him. Yeah, you get out, don't worry about us. So I find this verse, Lord Krishna, he's really laying it out in black and white, and the choice is very simple actually. Listen to Krishna and live, or don't listen to him and disappear into the wilderness of material world. This goes both in our material life and spiritual life. More so in our spiritual life. We have to try and see how much are we following the process as it is given to us by the predecessor acharyas and our spiritual master, and see where we are trying to get wrong in the association of devotees. I was discussing this point with some devotees, and they were saying, you know why it's written association of devotees? The mat chitta mat gata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantas chamam nityam tushyanti charamanti cha. That my devotees, they enlighten each other. But one devotee was saying, do you know why? I was like, please tell me. He said, just like you have a candle, you have candles here, but usually you get the long candles that stand. If you put that candle, it is giving light everywhere, but there is one spot that is dark underneath. How do you remove that darkness? You have to put another candle next to it. So therefore, in the association of devotees, we find out where our darkness is. We may think we're giving light to everyone and we're doing okay, but if another devotee is put next to it, then we know, oh, here is my darkness. Therefore, association of devotees, they enlighten each other. So the 2 candles standing next to each other, this one destroys that one darkness, and that one destroys this one's darkness. And that's the parasparam, the enlightenment that's happening. When we come in the association of devotees, then the devotees help us by identifying where in the process we are making adjustments when we should not be making any. So in this way, if we follow exactly what Lord Krishna has told us, exactly what the spiritual master has given us, the predecessor acharyas have given us, we will thrive in devotional service. It will not be a question of just surviving, but actually thriving. Sometimes I meet devotees, even surviving becomes a problem. What to speak of thriving. Therefore, if we want to thrive, then we have to hear As much as our egos may not want to hear, that's an element of surrender. Krishna knows best. Not my mind knows best. And in this way, if we endeavor with full faith in devotional service, definitely we shall experience the full fruits of devotional service, peace of mind, happiness, and unlimited bliss. Hare Krishna. If there are any questions or comments, maybe want to add something.